The first step in simplifying these problems is to factor. Well, it looks like this has already been factored because it's kind of in that form of factors. Even if that's the case, look and see, does it fit the exact form that you need to have? And that exact form is I want all the x's written first with a positive coefficient. So the numerator's all set. There's nothing that needs to be changed from the two factors in the numerator. However, in the denominator of this first fraction, the terms of the first factor, it does need to be switched around. So x plus 5 and then the x minus 6. In the second fraction, the numerator, x plus 5 factor is fine, but this second factor needs to be switched around. And the leading coefficient is a negative for the x, so we also need to pull out a factor of negative 1. So I'm going to write that factor out front of the whole set, that whole fraction. And I'm going to change the sign of each term. So factoring or removing a negative from a 6 leaves a negative 6, and I'm going to write that second. And then removing a negative from the negative x leaves a positive x. I'm going to write that first. And I'm going to do the same thing with this denominator's factor. And the terms are switched, and then it also, there's a negative in front of the x, so I'm going to factor out a negative. And the 7 becomes a negative 7. I write that second. The negative 2x becomes a positive 2x, and I write that first. Okay, so what I've been able to do here is now it's in that completely factored form, and you can look to cancel any common factors. So the 2x minus 7s can cancel here. The x plus 5 cancels here. The x minus 6 cancels here. And so I'm left with my, and then the negatives cancel here. So I'm left with just along the numerator an x plus 5, nothing in the denominator, so that's my simplified form. And so when I find the domain restrictions, I just need to account for every denominator factor that would give you 0. So I need to account for this negative 5, this positive 6, and here this factor. Again, you take the opposite of the constant, so 7 divided by the leading coefficient, 2. So those are my three numbers. Put them in order from smallest to largest, and that extends on to my answer.